guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Desiree and I have been sharing my healing journey of how I have been able to heal myself naturally using holistic foods and supplements and mindset techniques. And for today, I wanted to do something a little bit different just because I am pregnant and I wanted to give you guys an update on my pregnancy. So if you're interested in watching my pregnancy update and journey, then keep watching. So I am so excited to do this video for you guys today just because I am pregnant and I am already in my second trimester. So I wanted to do an update of my entire first trimester and everything that happened, all of my symptoms and things and tips and tricks that I used to kind of alleviate these symptoms naturally and with a little help of medication as well. So I want to kind of dive in a little bit into what I did. And also I want to share my symptoms. So early symptoms that I felt even before I knew that I was pregnant. Because if you guys saw my first video, I kind of shared that this was a miracle. I really wasn't expecting it. My husband and I both thought that we weren't able to conceive again. So we thought that we could never get pregnant again. So this was a complete surprise and miracle, and we're so blessed and happy. So I'm just really excited to kind of dive into everything and all the symptoms that kind of triggered me to kind of think, okay, I think I might be pregnant. So my first symptoms before my missed period, I'm going to be looking down at my phone because I took a lot of notes for you guys. So my first symptoms before I realized I was pregnant, I had to use the restroom literally like a million times a day. So I usually go pee a lot normally just because I drink a lot of water and I drink celery juice and lemon water. And if you are on the medical medium lifestyle, you know what I mean. You do go to the bathroom a lot. You kind of have to empty out and pee a lot. But this time around, it was kind of like, I felt like I had to go pee like literally every 20 to 30 minutes, I had to go. So that was the first symptom that I thought was kind of strange. I had the worst mood swings ever. I know I had mentioned in my second video that, doing the medical medium protocols and drinking the celery juice helped me be very calm. And it helped me feel kind of like I didn't even get like a sign that I was going to get my period, right? Because I used to get mood swings, but once I started doing celery juice and the medical medium lifestyle, I stopped getting these severe mood swings. So that was kind of like my signal before, and they disappeared. So all of a sudden, I had severe mood swings. Like I was mean. And normally I'm really calm and like super like just very loving towards my son and my husband, and I was so snappy with my son. I think he was asking me for help with something in school. And I sat down and I'm trying to explain it to him, and something just triggered me, something that he did. And I was just rude to him, and I'm normally so nice and so calm with him, and I felt so bad. And he kind of looked at me and was like, "Mama, are you okay?" And I kind of snapped out of it and was like, "Oh my goodness, like what is wrong with me?" Like that was so different. That was something that was not part of my norm. So my hormones were out of whack, and the celery juice wasn't helping at that moment. So this was like extreme mood swings, and I was extremely emotional. So if I was watching a movie or a commercial and there was something sad, I was sobbing, like sobbing, crying. And my husband would look at me like, "Are you okay?" And it was just something that I could not control. So severe mood swings, extremely bloated and gassy. Another thing that I said that celery juice kind of helped to eliminate. So I didn't even know what that felt like anymore. All of a sudden, I'm like really bloated. And my stomach kind of even looked a little bit like out. And I'm like, what is going on? Like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing with the celery juice, and like all of a sudden, like it's not working. So that was very strange for me. Also, my breasts became very swollen and tender. And normally when I get my period, they get a little bit tender, but nothing too, you know, severe. But this time around, I noticed that my boobs got, you know, my breasts got very big and very swollen, extremely tender to the point where it even hurt to have like take a shower, like have the water like touch me. It was just very, very tender. If you've been pregnant, you know what I'm talking about. It's very different. So all of these things were happening and I'm just like, what is going on? Like, this is so strange. Maybe I'm just having like severe PMS. You know, I was literally about to get my period. So I was like, who knows? Maybe I'm having PMS this time. I don't know. And then I also started to like crave more fruit. So I typically eat a lot of fruit normally, especially like when it's warmer outside. I love to eat watermelon and grapes and apples and bananas, but I was eating watermelon. I usually would eat like half a watermelon a day. I was eating an entire watermelon in one morning, and it was like I couldn't get enough of it. So I was craving watermelon like crazy, and I was posting it all the time. So if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I was like obsessed with watermelon. It was just like I couldn't get enough of it. I was actually having cramps. So I thought that was like, okay, well, maybe I'm feeling cramps. Maybe I'm having these like PMS symptoms, because even though I wasn't experiencing it before, because the celery juice helped to eliminate any of that, I was like, well, maybe I'm just having like, I don't know. It was just very strange. And I noticed that I didn't have like my skin looked like it was glowing. Like normally, like I don't really break out like I used to, but if I get my period, I might have like, you know, one little teeny tiny pimple or something might come out, but nothing like before. And I noticed that this time around, like my skin was just like glowing, like it looked like porcelain, like it looked so nice. And I was loving it. I was like, oh, this is so nice. I'm not getting any breakouts or like anything. My skin is actually like looking very nice. And my final symptom was that I was having what's called pregnancy brain, baby brain, whatever you call it. It was happening. Like I was so forgetful and I was having extreme brain fog, something that I don't experience anymore. Like it's been years since I've had brain fog. Like I used to have it so badly because of my autoimmune diseases. And ever since I started the medical medium lifestyle, like that has lifted, like that fog lifted. And all of a sudden, I was extremely forgetful. And I would just get really angry with myself and I would forget to do something because that's just not me. So those were my before missed period symptoms, and they were very severe. Like it was almost like a light bulb, like, hello, you're pregnant. I had no idea. So I actually was due to have my period like on a Friday. And I remember that Friday, my husband and I had plans to go to his company dinner. And I was actually hoping that I would be late because I was like, oh, I want to go enjoy that company dinner. I don't want to have to worry about, you know, having to change or like be on my period or anything. So we went to the company dinner. Everything was fine. I didn't feel like anything was coming. It was kind of strange. And I was like, well, maybe it will come tomorrow. Saturday came, nothing. Sunday, nothing. And I was like, okay, I am actually very regular. Like I follow my period on like a tracker, like an app. And typically whenever that app says I'm gonna get my period, I typically get it like right away. So that was like really strange. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my goodness, could it be? Like, could I actually be pregnant? I was like, there's no way. And I actually happened to have a pregnancy test in my bathroom. So on Monday, I decided, I was like, you know what, let me just take the test and get this like, probably when I take the test, I'll get my period because typically that's what would happen. And I took the test, and when I saw that positive pregnancy test, I kid you not, that I was just like in so much disbelief, but then at the same time, like mixed emotions of like, I'm so happy. And like, I was just so extremely happy. Like I remember like laughing and crying at the exact same time. Like I can't even explain it. And I was like shaking because I couldn't believe what I was looking at. Like, is this even possible? Like, how did this happen? Because I wasn't supposed to get pregnant. Like, this is insane. So I remember right after I got out of the bathroom, I heard my husband coming up the stairs. He had just come home from work. And I was like still shaking and crying and laughing, and like I tell him like, babe, like we're pregnant. And he is like, what? No. I'm like, yeah. So we're both like crying and hugging. And then my son comes upstairs and he's like, what's going on? And I was like, baby, you're gonna be a big brother. Like your dream of having a sibling is finally coming true. And he just hugged me, and he like, you know, hugged my stomach, and I was like, I have a baby in my belly. And he was just like so excited, he couldn't believe it. So it was amazing. Like it was just a beautiful day, you know, so much like we were just so happy, and we felt so blessed, you know, to think that after all this time, you know, after 9 years of believing that we would never be able to get pregnant again, God had blessed us with this little miracle. So I am feeling so incredibly blessed to have this baby, and, you know, to feel as healthy as I am today, because I know it took a long time in my healing journey to get to where I am today. And I just, every day of my life, I'm thankful to God for that, because I know I couldn't have done it without his help. So sorry if I got a little emotional there, but I just, whenever I relive that moment, I get very excited. So that was my symptoms before my misperiod, right? So finally, I find out that I'm pregnant. I was already 5 weeks pregnant. And baby is about the size of like of an orange seed, so very tiny. And I was experiencing extreme fatigue, like so tired. And I was having a lot of shortness of breath. So it was really hard to like go up and down the stairs, and to even like talk to people. Like right now I'm kind of winded, I'm kind of out of breath. That's something else that happened really quickly, is that you feel so out of breath. I remember thinking like, why am I so out of breath? Like I'm just literally just found out I'm pregnant. And then I just researched information. Apparently it's like the progesterone and the HCG and like all of the hormones that are in your body that are causing you to feel like you're out of breath. So that is for sure like something that I've been experiencing from the very beginning. Hasn't gone away yet. Probably won't go away. The frequent urinating, that was like extreme. It isn't as bad as it was back then, so it's gotten a little bit better. The bloating and the gas was horrible. The swollen breasts was something that I experienced like very early on, and it's still kind of like ongoing, which is completely normal. The extreme mood swings and crying and like really irritable, very present. And I have been doing my best to just be calm and breathe and use all of my techniques that I learned and that I teach my clients. So I kind of just breathe, take a moment, step back, and like realize like, Desiree, it's not a big deal. You know, you don't need to be upset about this. Like, just breathe. Let's see. I've also been at 5 weeks pregnant. So strange. I started to get uterus like stretching pains. And I know that usually doesn't happen until later on in the pregnancy, but I had a C-section with my son 9 years ago. And apparently when you have a C-section, you feel when your uterus starts to stretch. And yes, I could totally feel that. Lots of stretching pains, and even like if I cough or I sneeze, it's like a really sharp stretching pain like in my uterus. So I have to be really careful. I have to like hold my belly down and sneeze or cough. So super strange. It was really like strange for me to actually feel that symptom so early on. But apparently when it's your second pregnancy and you've had a C-section previously, well, it's normal to feel that so early on. Another thing that I experienced, which was very uncomfortable, was constipation, and it's something that I have not dealt with in years. I am very regular, thank God for medical medium and celery juice. Like I don't have an issue with that, but getting pregnant is something that really backs you up. So to get things moving and flowing, I had to really start to do, you know, a lot of lemon water throughout the day, not just in the morning, but throughout the day. And the celery juice, I had to actually like make sure that I drink it every single day, because there was a time, I think it was in November, I'm not quite sure, where celery was sold out. Costco didn't have celery. I couldn't find it anywhere. And I was an entire week without celery and I was suffering. It was like, oh my God, like I need all the dates, right? So I went and got dates instead. And the dates actually helped to get things kind of moving a little bit more. And then as soon as the celery came back in stock, made my celery juice, and thankfully things started to move again and I just felt so much better. So I always make sure that I am stocked up on celery because I know that right now, since I'm pregnant, I need all the celery that I can get because it helps to keep me normal and regular and keep things moving. And if you have ever been pregnant or if you are currently pregnant, you know exactly what I mean. You know, you need to get all that fiber, all of that, you know, liquids, all the things to keep things moving normally. Sorry if that's TMI, but if you're watching this video, you're probably either pregnant, wanting to get pregnant, or just curious. So that's the reality of it. It's not very glamorous. Let's see what else. Oh yes, extreme thirst, right? So I always have my water bottle with me. I'm always drinking water because I'm always thirsty and out of breath. So always drinking water. Let's see what else. So week 6 symptoms. So baby at week 6 is the size of a sweet pea. So my belly at week 6 actually kind of popped, which is insane because I'm like, how is my belly popping when the baby is so tiny? But apparently when it's your second pregnancy, your uterus tends to expand quicker because it has like memory. I don't know, but it's true because my belly went from being extremely flat because I was working out a lot before and, you know, very healthy diet. So I had no tummy. And all of a sudden, I'm so big. I'm like, I look like I'm like 3 months pregnant, but I was only 6 weeks. So I think it had a lot to do with the uterus, you know, already knowing like what to do. So it kind of expanded pretty quickly. And also the bloating was just insane. So that kind of made the belly look a little bit bigger. I was feeling like mild nausea around 6 weeks, nothing too crazy. I was feeling so hungry all the time. So if I did not eat like every 2 hours, the nausea would kick in. So it was like this feeling of like an emptiness in your stomach. So I wouldn't eat a lot, but I would have to make sure that I was snacking constantly. I was craving a lot of fruit, which I kind of mentioned before. And then I remember feeling like really anxious about the pregnancy and the delivery. So obviously when you first get pregnant, you don't even think about that, right? You're kind of just so excited because you're about to have a baby. And then all of a sudden the reality sets in. It's like, okay, I'm pregnant and I actually have to deliver this baby, right? And I want to make sure that this baby is healthy throughout the pregnancy. And now that I'm older, right? It's been 10 years since the last time that I got pregnant. So I'm older, I'm at high risk, you know, I have autoimmune diseases. So that anxiety kind of crept in thinking, oh my gosh, like, is the baby going to be okay? And thankfully, baby's fine. I'm fine. You know, the doctor did all the blood work and everything came back fantastic. Like the doctor was like, your blood work looks better than someone who's not high risk and doesn't even have autoimmune diseases. So thankfully, and I know that's thanks to the medical medium lifestyle. That has been like a blessing. So thankfully, baby's safe. I'm safe. I just need to trust that everything's going to be safe and that I'm going to have a very good and safe pregnancy and delivery. I just have to kind of throw it up and give it to God because I know that it's going to be fine. But it's normal, right, to feel that anxiety, but I've kind of just let it go. Another symptom that I have felt is an enhanced sense of smell. Oh my goodness. Like, I don't know what it was, but before apparently I couldn't smell anything. And now I'm like, I could smell like something from like a mile away. Like my sense of smell has enhanced. Like it has become like, I don't even know. Like it's just so intense. Like anything, I could smell anything. And it can make you nauseous and like make you feel like kind of gross to smell things so much, right? So yeah, that's been something I have to kind of like, I have to learn to deal with, is the new smells that I'm smelling everywhere. So that was week 6. So week 7, the baby was the size of a blueberry, still really tiny. So week 7, nausea started to get a little bit worse. That empty stomach feeling was so bad. I literally had to have the water with me all the time, and I had to have a snack like every 1.5 to 2 hours, because if I didn't, I just felt like I was gonna throw up. And this is something new for me, because when I was pregnant with my son, I did not experience that. Like, I experienced mild nausea, which I thought back then was like, oh, so bad. No, no. Nausea now is like worse. Like, I feel like my symptoms with this pregnancy have been very different than it was with my son. Let's see what else. So I want to kind of give you guys a tip that I learned that helps with nausea, right? So before going to my doctor and asking them to prescribe me with some kind of medication to control nausea, I didn't want to take any medication. I did some research online, and I Googled, what was safe during pregnancy. And I found these little wristbands. I don't have them with me, but I'll link them below so that you can kind of check it out if you're interested. But they are these little C-bands that you put on your wrist, right? They're like cotton, and they have this little white ball that kind of makes pressure right here. So it kind of pushes on your wrist, and you wear them on both wrists. And I guess it's like an acupressure point that when it's pressing, it alleviates nausea and seasickness and all the things. So I remember using this one time on a cruise, and it worked. And I tend to get nauseous. I get motion sickness on cruises, so it worked. So I was like, you know what? I got nothing to lose. I'm just gonna try this and see if it works. It's so cheap. It's like $7, I think. It was super cheap. So I ended up buying 2. I bought the pink one that's like the mama one for like pregnancy, and then I bought the regular one that's gray. And they do the exact same thing. One is just pink, the other one is a normal color. So I got 2 so I can kind of like, wear different ones every day. And they did the exact same thing. So I literally would put it on as soon as I woke up in the morning, put on my little wristband. I did not move it or take it off until I was gonna take a shower at night. And that was a lifesaver, because the nausea that I felt was so extreme. I never had to actually go to the bathroom to throw up, but I was very close. Like, I remember it would come up sometimes. And oh my gosh, sorry if TMI again, but brushing your teeth and brushing your tongue, the gag reflex is over the top. Like, I couldn't even touch my tongue, that I would like gag and try to I would be throwing up. Like, it was so bad. So if you are pregnant or you're planning on getting pregnant, I highly recommend checking out those little wristbands, because these little acupressure points, they work. Okay, so it kind of hurts a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. But as long as you don't move it throughout the day and just leave it, just don't touch it, it doesn't hurt. It hurts when you remove it and you kind of look at it and you're like, whoa, I have a little indent. But it's better than having nausea, I promise you. And then something else that I did was I also bought these little lemon ginger lozenges. They are from Traditional Medicinals. I will link them so that you can check it out if you're interested. But these are organic lemon ginger lozenges. I wanted to make sure the ingredients were super minimal and healthy and organic, and this was the best that I could find. So I highly recommend this. I would use this if I was talking to somebody on a Zoom or in a meeting and I was starting to feel nauseous, I would just put one in my mouth. It would be good to go. So these are really helpful. Something else that I had to do as well to kind of help eliminate the nausea was adding a vitamin B6. I didn't even know that vitamins could help, but apparently vitamin B6 is very helpful for nausea. So these are the same thing. I tried to look for a vitamin that was as natural as possible. This one has 0 sugar. It's vegan, gluten-free, non-GMO. It is a chewable tablet, and they taste like oranges, and it tastes pretty good. I would just have one a day, and it melts in my mouth, so it's super easy to take. And it's just, yeah, it's just easy to take this. And B6 really helps. And then something else that I also had my husband purchase before I got the C-bands, because the C-bands I got on Amazon, and it took like a couple days to get here. So when the nausea was at its worst, I found that if you take Unisom, which is something I would never ever take because I don't like taking medications. I don't like taking anything that's not natural. But I did read that taking Unisom, but it has to be the Unisom that says doxylamine or lamine. I don't even know how to pronounce it. It has to be this specific Unisom sleep tablets, right? So I would take one pill, break it in half, and then I would just take that one pill at night with water. Not only did it help me sleep, right, for the time that I didn't have the little C-bands, but taking it in conjunction with the B6 was literal magic. Again, I don't like taking medications. I don't like taking anything that is not natural, but I was desperate because I was so sick to my stomach. Like I just wanted to cry. Like, I felt horrible. And this was a literal lifesaver. So as soon as I received the C-bands, the little wristbands in the mail, I think I got them like in 2 days. I put them on and I tested it to see if I didn't have to take the Unisom. So I didn't take the Unisom one night, and I only did the B6, so the vitamin B6 and the C-bands. Magic. Like the nausea was gone. So if you're pregnant and you're experiencing extreme nausea, check that out. I promise it's gonna help you. I'm gonna link everything below so that you can find it. It was super, super helpful. So definitely recommend. And even if you're not pregnant and you just experience nausea, try the B6 because it does work, and the C-bands as well. So that is something that I highly recommend because nausea, oof, if you've ever had pregnancy nausea, there's nothing like that. It's the worst. Nothing can control it, but thankfully this did. And then at week 7, I also did the sneak peek DNA test because I wanted to know what I was having. I could not freaking wait to find out, even though I kind of felt like I knew what it was. Like I had a strong intuition of like what I'm having. Like I already refer to the baby as the gender that I feel like it's going to be. So when I took the sneak peek test, I took it when I was almost 8 weeks, and the results came in so quickly. Like I think I mailed them out, and within 2 days I had my results. And I was actually able to confirm the results later on when I took my DNA NIPT test, which is by the doctor. The doctor does like a genetic screening testing to check for any genetic abnormalities, but they also check for the gender. And I think that was like at week 10 or 11. And they confirmed that sneak peek was in fact correct. And I'm not going to be sharing the gender just yet. I think I'll do another video about that. But yeah, that was really exciting to be able to find out when you're only 7 weeks. Actually, I was 8 weeks when I found out, but to be able to get the results of your baby's gender that quickly, so exciting. For someone like me who has no patience and needs to know everything right away, because I'm a planner. I like to plan and like try to, you know, get everything like ready. It was amazing for me to find out that soon. So if you're pregnant and you're interested in sneak peek, I can link their website so you can kind of check them out. Obviously, I'm not affiliated to them. I don't get sponsored or anything by them, but I thought it was super cool that you can just do a little test at home and you get your results. So it was accurate. So week 8, my baby was the size of a raspberry, so getting a little bit bigger. Literally all of the symptoms I had mentioned before, I still had. So really tired, nauseous all day, but the relief came when I started using the C-band. So that was all pretty much the same. Week 9 symptoms, the baby was the size of a green olive. I was having all of the exact same symptoms, and I did have a little bit of a scare that week. That was actually Thanksgiving week. And right after Thanksgiving, I started to have some like brown discharge. And I remember when I was pregnant with my son, I never had any kind of discharge of any color. Like I didn't, nothing, right? And some women do experience that, but that wasn't normal for me. So when I started to see that, I was like, oh my goodness, there's something wrong. I was like freaking out. And of course it was a holiday, so I couldn't go to the doctor. So I ended up calling on Monday morning, making an appointment, and they got me in like the next day. So I was able to get my first prenatal ultrasound at 9.5 weeks, and baby was fine. The baby was so cute. The baby looked like a little gummy bear, just like flipping around and moving, and baby was all over the place. So I was able to confirm that baby was fine. I was fine. We don't know what that was, but thankfully it only lasted like 2 days and then it disappeared. So if you are pregnant and you've had any kind of discharge, any kind of bloody anything, please go to the doctor and just get checked out, just for your own peace of mind and make sure that you and baby are safe. At week 10, the baby was the size of a prune, and I started to experience a new symptom this week. So I started to get heartburn. And this is also a symptom that I used to have a lot with my autoimmune disease. I had extreme, acid reflux, heartburn, the whole thing. But once again, once I started the medical medium lifestyle and eating like a different diet and doing the celery juice, my heartburn and acid reflux completely disappeared. Like I didn't have to take any medication for it. It was just gone. But with the pregnancy and all the hormones and everything that was going on in my body, the acid reflux came back. So I started doing a lot more ginger teas, taking my ginger lozenges, just doing everything that I can with ginger to kind of help alleviate, and also peppermint tea to help kind of like alleviate that, the burning sensation. I also have been propping my bed, like my bed up a little bit, like with pillows, so that I am not laying completely flat. Like I'm laying a little bit like propped up, so that acid reflux doesn't come up at night, because it's really uncomfortable. So that has really been helpful. And then something that I purchased right around this time was a doppler, a fetal doppler to listen to baby's heartbeat. This is the one that I bought. It is called, I don't even know what it's called. It's just called fetal doppler. And it's so cool to be able to hear baby's heart. And it's just giving me like that added sense of reassurance that baby is fine. So I found baby's heartbeat when I was 10 weeks, 6 days. And it was so exciting to hear that little heartbeat. And if you have a Doppler and you haven't been able to find your baby's heartbeat yet, just be patient. It takes time. Like try not to be on there searching for the baby's heartbeat for more than like 5 to 10 minutes at a time, because apparently it's not good to do that very often, because I don't know, it's just not good. So I try not to get on there too long to search. So if I took more than 5 minutes, I would just turn it off. But when I finally found baby's heartbeat, oh, it was beautiful. I can insert the video here so you can kind of hear. But it was so magical to hear baby's heartbeat. And it's kind of confusing when you're searching, because you keep hearing heartbeats and it's actually your own heartbeat. But when you find baby's heartbeat, you know you find it, because it sounds like a little train. Like it's just so fast. Like your heartbeat's nice and slow and steady. The baby's heartbeat is really fast. It was around 170 beats per minute or something like that, I don't remember. But I'll insert the video so you can see. Super cute. Also around this week, I did purchase my pregnancy pillow because I was already starting to get uncomfortable at night with my hips hurting, and like belly's not that big yet, but my hips have been like uncomfortable. So I bought this pregnancy pillow. It's pretty big. It's so comfy though. I really like this one. It's called the BBhugme, and it is literally like little beads inside. Like it's almost like sand, like little beads. And it like conforms to your body, super soft. Like it kind of takes the shape of wherever you are. And I am very tall, like I'm huge. I'm 6 feet tall. So for me to find a pregnancy pillow that was long enough for me and that was comfortable was pretty hard. So this, if you're tall and you're looking for a pregnancy pillow that's gonna be long enough for you and comfortable enough for you, highly recommend this one. It also has these little like grips that help to kind of make it shorter, or you can make it longer. So you can make the pregnancy pillow longer if you need it, or you can make it shorter and kind of like, you know, tighter. So definitely check this one out. It's also good to even like just prop yourself up to watch TV or like be on the bed. It's so comfortable. I am in love with this thing. I didn't have this one with my son when I was pregnant with him. I had this, what was it called? The snuggle or snoogle, or I don't even remember what it was called, but it wasn't comfortable at all. Like it lost its shape really quickly. I would try to put it in between my knees and it would like hurt my knees. Like this is perfect. You put it in between your knees, you kind of hug it, and it's amazing for sleep. So if you're pregnant and you're looking for a good pregnancy pillow, highly recommend this one. It's a little bit pricey. Sometimes they do have sales. I ended up purchasing this one on Black Friday, so I took advantage of their sale. And I'm so glad I did, because this thing is everything. So if you're pregnant, you're looking for a comfortable pregnancy pillow, highly recommend this one. It's very much worth the investment. So check it out. They have all different colors. You can literally mix and match and make whatever you want, but I like that one. All right, so now I am at we're at week 11. Baby is the size of a strawberry, so getting a little bit bigger. I'm having way less nausea, only at night. So I used to have nausea throughout the entire day. So it's not just morning sickness, it's literally all day. And I was only having it at night now, but the wristbands were helping. So that was great. I was a lot less bloated, and I was feeling better, like physically, like I had more energy, like I was happier, like I just felt better. And my bump started to get a little bigger at this week as well. And something that I also started to develop at week 11, which wasn't fun at all, was I started to get a few breakouts. So I was like, oh, this is not fun. But I take really good care of my skin. I use all natural skincare, and I feel like it really helps. And then like washing, obviously when you wear makeup, like washing all your makeup off before you go to bed, making sure it's all off, and having a good like skincare routine is so important to keep your skin nice and fresh and clear. And also staying very hydrated, which I'm getting thirsty. So I'm gonna take a little sip of water. All right. So moving on to my very last week in the first trimester. This is week 12. Baby was the size of a lime. I was experiencing, again, that round ligament pain stretching in the uterus. It was just like random. So if I would like move, like if I was laying down, I would move too quickly. Like I would feel like those stretching pains, and it's not fun. It hurts. Also with sneezing or coughing, the pain would come. If I would like be sitting down and I'd stand up too quickly, so painful. It still happens where I have to kind of like grab it and kind of like massage it out a little bit. So my bump is growing really quickly this time around. And I took my first bump picture at week 12, and it's so cute to see how big it looks at week 12. What else did I have? Oh, I also had my week 12 ultrasound, and it was so much fun to see baby like looking more like a baby, like not like a gummy bear anymore. Like the baby looked more like human. So cute to see baby and like able to hear the baby's heartbeat. It was so much fun. And my son Aiden was actually with me, so he saw the babies, like he saw like the video of the ultrasound, he saw everything, and he actually recorded it for me, so I have it, and maybe I could insert a clip here so you guys can see it, but it was so sweet to see the baby.
Now, of course, as soon as you're on camera, no movement, a little bit.
Yeah.
But we were like, oh, there we go. We're kicking and moving. And there's their beautiful heart right there. Oh. If you want to keep it going for a second. Let's see, if we don't move too much, I might be able to get it on. Not very loud, but you can see it.
Yeah. Aww.
Measure it. It's perfect. I can tell just by listening, but we can measure it too. Yeah, about 160s, 65s, absolutely perfect.
Oh, I love it. I'm so happy.
Everything looks really good. Hey, baby. One more wave. Did you get it all?
Yep. So those are my updates for the first trimester. I want to do more of these updates. Let me know in the comments if you would prefer that I do them just by trimester. So if you want me to do like a second trimester recap, or if you'd like me to do them more frequently, let me know what you prefer. And I would be more than happy to record and like kind of tell you guys, like share my story of what I'm doing and like tips and tricks of what's helped me. I love, now that I have the energy, feeling so much better, I love doing these videos. So let me know. And I also wanted to talk about my prenatal. So I did a lot of research going into doing my prenatal. I looked up what medical medium recommends because obviously I know that his recommendations have helped me so much. So I did Google, you know, what he recommends for pregnancy. And he said that he doesn't 100% recommend a prenatal vitamin. But that's right. That's just depending on your preference and you know what your doctors recommend. But what he does recommend that you take every day is spirulina powder and barley grass juice powder. Excuse me. So I try to have that every single day in my smoothies. If I can't have it in a smoothie, I'll just make like, I'll just pour the powders into like a little cup with like water and I'll down it. It doesn't taste good, but at least I know that I'm getting the vitamins and nutrients the baby needs. So I've been doing that, and then the prenatal that I ended up going with that I really felt like I needed to do, I ended up going with Mary Ruth Organics prenatal vitamin. I really like this vitamin. It is liquid and it tastes like an orange popsicle. It's a little bit of a thick consistency, but I really liked that it also had, actually, you know what? I'm gonna go get it. Give me 1 second. So this is the vitamin that I'm taking. You can kind of see it here. So this is Mary Ruth's prenatal and postnatal multivitamin liposomal ultra absorption liquid supplement. So it is vegan, sugar-free, no MSG, it has an orange vanilla flavor. And this one I liked because it also has omega-3s, vitamin K2, like it has a couple vitamins that I didn't find in other prenatals. And I really like that all of the ingredients are organic, and it's kind of like the healthiest prenatal that I could find. So highly recommend this one. This bottle lasts me 1 month, so I have it on auto ship. So I get a discount by doing the auto ship. So I just get it every month. Super easy to take. You do have to keep it refrigerated. So that's the only thing, that if you're going on vacation or you're going somewhere, you might have to pick up another prenatal because this one does need to be refrigerated. And something else very important that I wanted to share that I have been doing. I have been doing this since week maybe 6 or 7. I did it really early on. Is using a body oil. With my son, I did not start using a body oil until I was already pretty big, and I did not want to get stretch marks. So thankfully with my son, I didn't get any stretch marks. So with this baby, or with this pregnancy, I started really early because I wanted to prevent stretch marks. So I use the Willetta, it's called Willetta Mama Stretch Mark Massage Oil. I get this on Amazon. I'm gonna link it for you guys below. But I got this one again because it was the most natural I could find. It's not super expensive. This little bottle will last you about 2 months. And I use a lot of it. Like, I'm very generous. Like, I will use 2 to 3 pumps, put it all over my belly, you know, on my thighs, you know, on my back, my hips, everywhere, because I don't want stretch marks. And I also use it on my breasts, right? Because the breasts grow so quickly that you could develop stretch marks. So I do use it on my breasts as well. And it actually helps them feel better because they're so sore right now. So really massaging it in and kind of pampering, it's kind of like pampering yourself. So every night I use this. I love it. So far, so good. I'm currently almost 15 weeks pregnant and I don't have any stretch marks yet, knock on wood, and body is changing really quickly. So highly recommend this too if you are looking for a body oil. So that is it, you guys. And before I end the video, I wanted to show you guys my bump so you can see how big it's getting. I'm super excited to see how quickly it's gotten this time around. Since it's my second pregnancy, belly has popped really fast. I'm kind of like taken back by it. So this is what I look like. I am in my second trimester, almost 15 weeks. Let me get up here so you can see. There is the bump shot. Baby is now moving, like it's up here, and super exciting. I have been feeling baby move. So feeling baby move has been everything. First time I felt baby move was like flutters. The flutters feel like, it feels like butterfly. I think of like butterfly wings, like fluttering really quickly, and it's super light. Like you can feel it really light. And the first time I felt it, I was about 14 weeks. I was in the shower and I felt this little little flutter like on my belly button. And I was like, oh my God, that was the baby. So the second night after that, same thing at the same exact time. It was at night, I was taking a shower, I felt the little flutter. So it was almost like, oh my God, like sometimes I forget that I'm pregnant. And I'm like, oh my God, baby's there. Like I start talking to the baby. And then last night was New Year's Eve, and I was dancing with my son and we were just moving around and shaking and dancing, just having so much fun. And when I stopped dancing, I felt 3 kicks, like boom, 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 like hard and like close to my belly button. And then I was like, oh my God, I felt the baby move. And then like my son came over to touch me and like my husband was so excited and then did it one more time. I was like, oh, super exciting. And then this morning we were at church and I was like, you know, just standing up and all of a sudden, same thing. The baby just went. It's almost like a little knock. Like, I'm here. Oh, so cute. Anyways, that is it, you guys. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I will be linking everything that I mentioned below so that you can take a look and see if you're interested in anything that I mentioned. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd be happy to chat with you. And yeah, that's basically everything that I have, and I will be sharing more updates. So let me know if you prefer to have like more updates like more often, or if you would prefer to keep them kind of like every trimester. I'm just curious to see what you guys like. So I will also be sharing more content about my healing journey and things that I have been using. I hope that this video has been helpful to you. Again, thank you so much for being here. Sending you so much love and so much light.